Let's find out what we can do here in Norfolk with Laura Holland, who's volunteering coordinator at Voluntary Norfolk and joins me now. Afternoon.
Hello, thank you for having me.
That's all right. I mean, when I've just with a little tiny bit of looking, I mean, there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of opportunities in Norfolk, aren't there? I mean, some brilliant ones as well.
There's over 300 opportunities across the county. It's so varied. We could spend all afternoon just sort of picking out a few that you can sort of get involved with quite quickly, but yeah, there's so much to choose from, so we do encourage everybody to take a look and to see what's available.
And I think I feel like we're quite a generous county at the best of times. I think we're quite generous with our time as well, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I get so many inquiries on a day-to-day basis of people that just want to get involved and they don't know how, and just sort of like talking through those steps. It's really lovely, really heartwarming.
I mean, it's great to give something back to the community, isn't it? And I think most people go into it to want to make a difference and change lives and maybe do something. But actually, there's a lot of benefits, I think, personally as well, isn't it? It's not just about giving back. You get to take quite a lot as well, don't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a really, really lovely opportunity for sort of building your employability, something wonderful to put on your CV. It's great for community connectedness. If you're sort of new to an area or if you just don't feel like you know anybody locally, then that's a wonderful way to get involved. And it's a really, really great way to improve your well-being as well. There's statistics all over the place that suggest that it's a great activity to get involved in. If you're sort of maybe feeling a little bit low, feeling a little bit sort of lost and isolated, then volunteering is definitely something to consider as well.
And I mean, it must be amazing to be part of Voluntary Norfolk because you get to deal with all the wonderful volunteers. We know volunteers are just wonderful superhumans anyway, but then you get to deal with all the organisations who are also in turn filled with lovely people. So I mean, it must be lovely what you do.
It is. It's a lovely job. It's very rewarding, and like you say, it changes from day to day. So I can speak to volunteers that have never volunteered before. I can speak to people that have been doing it for years, and also the organisations and been able to really support them, not just with volunteering, but anything else that the charities need, which right now is quite a lot across the whole sort of sector, really. So it's lovely.
And when you do have that sort of first chat with people and sort of look into it, to why they want to volunteer and the routes they want to take, what tends to be sort of the consensus? What do people tell you?
It really is varied, but something that a lot of people will mention is they want to have a sense of purpose, they want a routine, and they want to just give back to their communities and feel like they're contributing in any way they can. I think a lot of individuals, especially with COVID and sort of like the energy crisis, it makes people feel quite helpless. So to be able to give back and to feel like they're doing something is really, really positive.
And I think it's one of those things that spans all age groups, doesn't it? I think you know, the younger you are, it's sort of more about adding to the CV and getting those skills in. I think sort of then later in life, as you then start to settle down and have families, it usually is linked to something that's important to your family. You know, we've been exploring neurodiversity today and autism awareness, and people saying, look, you know, because I've been through this, I now work in this, so I volunteer in this. And I think as you get later, you know, when you're starting to get the empty nest, you want to do something, don't you? And then into retirement, you then got lots of time to be able to give back, and it's lovely, I think. And what I love about volunteering is being able to meet people of all ages and meet people of all backgrounds, and it's just this wonderful melting pot, isn't it, that we've got here in Norfolk?
It is lovely, yeah. And like you say, it does vary on sort of what stage of life people are. So a lot of school children, they'll get involved in doing things for, like you say, CVs, and just sort of really sort of testing the water and seeing what they'd like to do as a career. Then we have people with families that want to sort of get involved with other families and support other families, and people that are retired that've got a lot more time that tend to go back with maybe charities and causes that have supported them through their lifetime, and that's their opportunity to give back as well. So yeah, it's just wonderful to see all round.
And some of the myths with volunteering, because I think people assume that you have to give up all of your time and, you know, day in, day out, you know, 5 days a week, and you have to give up everything, and that's not always the case, is it?
Oh no, not at all. You can do 1 hour a month, you can do a day a week, you can do every day if you wish to. It really is flexible, and it can work around you, and you can have that nice sort of work-life balance between sort of work life, home life, and volunteering can fit into that really nicely. So yeah, so don't be put off if you think, oh, volunteering's not for me, I don't have the spare time. An hour a week, an hour a month, that could be a real big difference to a charity.
And if you're not really sure what you want to do or how much you can give, and you sort of go, I'd like to do something, I have no idea, it all feels a bit murky. I'm guessing that's where you come in and you sort of go, okay, would you like this, would you like that, and sort of go on to those next steps. But even if you're not really sure, is that kind of the sort of person you can still help?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going to the website is a great sort of place to start. It gives you the opportunity to have a look at what's available locally. So you can just put your postcode in, say, I'm happy to travel 6 miles, and that will bring you all opportunities within that area. So that's a really good place to start. If you're still not sure, there's a function on the website called like Talent Match, and that will enable you to sort of select the types of activities that you like to get involved in, whether you like to work within groups, individuals, and then that'll give you a selection of roles. And if you're still a little bit confused, then you can get in contact with us directly and we can just have a chat and see where it goes from there.
What are some of the sort of the voluntary roles that you often sort of have and some of the bigger ones that people might not be aware of?
I think the ones that people are not aware of are things like mentoring. Befriending is a lot more popular now, especially with sort of COVID, and there was a lot of befriending roles then over the telephone. But the more mentoring roles where sort of individuals might go into schools and support students that are a bit sort of unsure on career paths, or maybe need an extra sort of support in regards to building their confidence. Those sort of roles tend to be a little bit sort of on people's radar. It's more like sort of working with animals, retail roles. Everybody seems to know about them, then they're available. So it's good to be able to showcase some things that maybe not at the front of people's minds when they think of volunteering. And
when you get some of the feedback, and particularly from those that have been helped and from some of the organisations, what's that like? I imagine it must be so rewarding when you actually get the feedback back. So what do people say sort of 3 months in?
Oh, it's so lovely. I mean, I've sort of welled up on so many different occasions where I've had volunteers come back and said, I've tried this role that we chatted about. It's really given me a great sort of boost, a sense of purpose. I've met some lovely friends, and it just really, really changes people's lives, not just the organisations, the individuals that they might be helping, but the volunteers as well. It's really beautiful.
And to sort of have all this and a sort of big help out for the coronation as well, just to push people to maybe make that first step that they haven't. So if you are listening right now and you're going, oh, yeah, I would like to do something, oh yeah, but what would be your message? How do you make that first step?
I would say maybe consider on that coronation weekend is just to make a pledge to yourself to look into volunteering, to have a look at the website, have a sort of good gauge of what sort of the opportunities that are available, how that can fit with your either work life or personal life, and then just get in touch and have a chat. You'll be surprised at the possibilities that are out there.
I mean, we've got some brilliant opportunities, haven't we? There's a lot. There always seems to be a lot going on in Norfolk, and it's wonderful to showcase all of that. But I mean, it just means that there's always something down the road, isn't there? You don't have to travel far. There's always something probably that's quite close to you don't even know is there.
No, exactly. And there's so many roles that are available from home. So if you're somebody who maybe can't travel for whatever reason, or you can't get out because of sort of family commitments, then there are online and telephone roles as well, based right from your home, so you don't have to sort of venture out.
So if we've piqued your interest and you're going, all right, go on then. So where's the best place to head to sort of have a little bit more of a search of what's available, some of the vacancies, and actually to fundamentally get in touch and try and get on some of these?
Yeah, definitely. So our website is getinvolvednorfolk.org.uk. That's got all the volunteering opportunities across the county. And also you can message organisations directly if you want to have a chat with them, a bit more detail. If you're interested in volunteering with health and social care, there's a number of events across the county. There's one in Great Yarmouth on the 19th of April at Prime Yark, and I think Beccles is the 28th of April at the Marketplace, and that's for anybody who's interested in sort of health, social care volunteering, maybe within the hospitals or community outreach. So do pop along and have a chat.
Oh, what a wonderful thing to be able to do, and it's great to be able to showcase it and bring all the positives around it as well, Laura. Lovely to catch up. Thank you so much, Laura Holland from Voluntary Norfolk.